This video is dedicated to all my crystal friends who might notice that after working with their crystal for a while, sometimes it's almost as if the energy kind of just flattens out. Sometimes it's almost as if the energy becomes a little bit more negative and heavy, and the crystal that once elevated you so much and helped you to feel free, all of a sudden it feels like there's this kind of sickening energy around it. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. How to get the power back, how to charge them back to their full potential, and how to clear away that energy that has become stagnant and is therefore stagnating you. Welcome back to another video. My name's Nathan, and with the right tools and the right information, you can actually go anywhere you want to in life. Even if you've ever felt trapped in a prison, or like things are just getting kind of bland, or there's something that you really want to experience in your life, but you haven't just been quite able to step into, these are the crystal tools that we can work with to help us to open new doors of energy and all kinds of experiences and capabilities in our life. So that's what I talk about on my channel here. Now, in this video in specific, I want to talk about how we can clear and charge these tools that we're working with, our crystal tools. And this video is dedicated to one of my best friends, Chad. He's suggested this video for a very long time now, and I'm finally getting to it, Chad. So this one's for you. So the very first thing that I want to address in this video is the aspect of the crystal tool that you're working with. If all of a sudden the energy is starting to become kind of sickening and it feels like that tool that was once elevating you is holding you back. That's the first part we're going to talk about, because before we get into the logistics of how you can actually charge and clear these energies, it's important that we have the right information combined with our use of these tools, because that's really where the elevation and all the power comes from. You can have the right tool, but if you don't have the right information, then you're not necessarily going to be using it in the best way possible for yourself. So that's why when it comes to crystals, the energy, we have to understand that the energies of the crystals are real. The capabilities and the energy are all there. Everything is there. It's the same way that right now I'm next to this river, I'm out in Mount Shasta in this beautiful fairy-like forest, and the energy feels different than if I was in Los Angeles, California, for example. It feels different than if I was in the desert. So this is literally the exact example of the fact that these crystals have energy. The different locations, the different structures, they all vibe differently. Now what you're feeling when you're feeling the energy from the crystals, this is totally up to you and your own perspective, but according to me, what you're feeling is the subtle influences of the energy on your being, your true being, the energy that you are. So we can start to feel different differences in the way that we're perceiving reality. For me, I literally start feeling different kinds of personality traits. I start thinking differently. For me, it's quite a big deal. And that's why what I notice is that when my crystal stops working, or more correctly, the biggest part of this is when I feel like the crystal is now becoming kind of a negative energy, what I have to realize in myself to step through that door and bring the power back into my life is that, yes, the energy in the crystal is real. Yes, the energy that I'm feeling and experiencing is real. It's real in my reality. But to really expand past this, I have to be able to admit and realize to myself that I am the power of the crystal. I have always been the power of the crystals. They're tools that help me to navigate and direct my intention, both inner and outer, and to experience new energetic doors that can open and help me transform my life. But I am the power of the crystal. So when I'm feeling that my crystal has become kind of negative, or the energy is stagnant, and I'm just feeling kind of held back with this is where the big detachment, stepping back and seeing it from the observer and realizing that it's actually me who is feeling stagnant. It's me who is carrying more kinds of negative energies and things like this. So I can continue projecting at my crystal that it's my crystal's fault and that my crystal needs to kick up its game again. But the moment that I realize and take the responsibility for myself that it's actually me who's feeling stagnant and I'm simply reflecting it off of my crystal, that's the moment all the power comes back. Here's how to clear that energy away from your crystal. Number one, you need to go take a shower. Take a shower and go to the place that charges you. You want to clear the energy from yourself, because you will never be able to clear the energy of the crystal, which is simply an extension of yourself, if you can't even clear the energy that is you. So you want to actually clear your energy first, believe it or not. Taking a shower, going on a walk, listening to some music that puts you into a good place with yourself. The same way that I'm saying I feel different when I'm in the forest versus in the desert, you want to look within yourself and realize, what is it that helps me recharge? Maybe it's going and being alone, sitting away from other people, listening to some meditation music. Maybe you're a super extrovert kind of person and you charge by interacting with other people. So go ahead and do whatever you need to do to let go of that energy and clear it from yourself. Second, now that you've cleared the energy from yourself, now you can actually clear the energy from the crystal too. And there's the number one thing that I want to mention to you guys to clear the energy is my absolute favorite way to do it. It's the most effective to me, and therefore that's what I'm going to share with you guys in this video. But I'd love to hear from you if there's something else that you've experienced that you could share for all of us. Maybe I could try it out. Maybe it's going to work better for somebody else other than what I share. So go ahead and put those opinions below. You never know who's going to sing too. So my favorite way to clear crystal energy is actually by using another crystal, and it's called selenite. So this is my selenite right here. This is my favorite personal piece that I have. So what I do with this, let me show you here. I'm going to come over to the sun and show you. So what I do is I put the selenite in the sun, and I'm going to go ahead and turn around this camera. This is my dog Lightning here, if you happen to be wondering. So I go ahead and I put it in the sun, and then what I simply do is I take my crystal that I want to go ahead and clear the energy from, and I just rest it on the selenite, and then I just walk away. And I just let the crystal vibe out in the same way that I myself would need to vibe out to clear and basically recharge my energy. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this around here. So another big thing to keep in mind when it comes to crystals is that every single crystal has a different kind of quote-unquote personality, the same way that you and I do. So I might personally charge by going out into the nature and sitting there alone by a river and meditating. Someone else might charge by hanging out with other people. Someone might charge by doing jumping jacks and listening to like super pumped up music. We're all different in that way. So our crystals are too. Now the way that and the method that I just showed you with the selenite, this is my favorite way to do it. This is what just works for me, and I can always instantly feel from my crystal that it's suddenly lighter, and it's almost like it's restored back to its factory settings, right? So it helps me to clear away all the energy that I've been projecting at the crystal and basically start over fresh and allow the crystal to be who it naturally is. Because when the energies start getting heavy, when it starts feeling kind of clouded like this, a lot of what this is that I've just been projecting so much at the crystal that I've created all this toxic energy. The same way that in personal relationships, if you and I were dating and I'm projecting a story at you over and over and over again, but it's not genuinely who you are, it's going to create toxic energy. You're gonna start feeling uncomfortable around me. I'm gonna start feeling uncomfortable around you. Why would it be any different from our crystals? We gotta just let them be and allow them to clear themselves and just see them for who they are without projecting ourselves and our beliefs at them. So, the selenite is the method that works the best for me and helps me to give myself permission to stop projecting at the crystal and allow the crystal to go back to its, like I said, factory setting. But every single crystal element is different. Some of them are really going to like to be put outside in the sun. Some of them, the more grounding crystals, like for example, shungite is one that I have, tiger's eye. These are two crystals that the best way to clear the energy, aside from putting them on the selenite, is to actually bury them in the earth. So here's what you can think. The crystals that are water oriented, they're going to feel really at home and like themselves, and it'll help them to detach from the projecting that you've been doing at them. If you let them be in the water, set them in a stream or something. The crystals that are earth oriented, bury them and then come back to them a day later. The ones that are more fiery energy, let them out in the sun. This is what works for me, and this is what really helps to clear the energy and to charge it. So that's what's going to go ahead and bring us to the second part of this video, which is the charging of the crystals. So when you charge a crystal, that's going to entirely depend on the element. Some of them are really gonna vibe up if you simply run it over a flame, the more fire-oriented ones. Some of them are gonna vibe up if they're earth-oriented by burying them in the earth. But something that works for every single crystal, no matter what crystal it is. I honestly don't know why it works like this, but it just does, okay? So I'm not gonna waste any energy trying to give you all these reasons and permission slips to help you believe that it's gonna work. Just try it for yourself. You know, don't listen to me, just try it for yourself, see if it works. And that's putting it in the sun. Just let it have the sunlight. I don't know why, but if you give your crystals some sunlight, they will start vibing and juicing energy more than maybe when you first got them. I know when you resonate with the crystal and you get a new one, as soon as you open the package, it's like this huge wave of energy and your intuition starts vibing. Your third eye and your crown chakra are like, oh my God, this is so intense. And you're like, damn, this is awesome. That's like your first moment with the crystal that really resonates with you. You can actually consistently have that energy coming from your crystal 24/7. You know that feeling I'm talking about? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? When the crystal first hits and you're like, holy shit. You can constantly have that. All you have to do is give your crystal sunlight consistently. Let it be in the nature, because just like you feel kind of sick from being in the city all the time and maybe going on a hike would restore you, bring your crystals into nature. Restore yourselves together. Because here's what I think a lot of people miss when it comes to crystals. And it's not because they're dumb, it's just because not necessarily there's a lot of the right information that's being spread around, and that's okay. But here's some more information for you that could be right for you. You and your crystal are in a partnership. You are unified. You are one together, right? When we're in a, when we're in a relationship that is more individual and you're fighting for yourself and the other person's fighting for themselves, and whenever you're interacting with each other, there's always defense, there's always trying so hard to change the other person or change yourself to be with them, it's not healthy. And you're always going to feel like your energy's being drained and you're not really on point. It's the same with your crystals. This is a unified, intimate partnership that you are having. It is actually probably, I would say for 90% of people watching this video, that's just me making up a random number, that our relationship with the crystals are the most intimate relationships that we actually have. Because it's not based on the stories. And there's this energetic exchange that's genuinely happening. You are listening to the crystal and allowing its energy into you. And the crystals are listening and allowing your energy into them. So when we can unconditionally love our crystals, whether they're giving us energy or not, okay? Imagine your crystal feels flat and isn't vibing. If you're getting upset or like, what the hell's wrong with my crystal, it's gonna continue to vibe lower and lower. The moment you accept your crystal for who it is and unconditionally love it and support it regardless, that's when all of a sudden the energy will start vibing again. But it's gotta be unconditional. You can't lie to the crystal because the crystal is you, and we cannot lie to ourselves. We can, but life becomes very toxic and prison-like. Me, for example, I've done this many times. Good times, good times. Now, the third thing I want to bring into this video is actually saging your crystals. A lot of people talk about using sage to clear energy, and I want to throw something controversial in here. Not because I'm throwing it in because it's controversial, but because it is something that is a conversation point that I would love to have with you guys. People use sage to clear their crystals and clear the energy away. And I'm having a really hard time understanding that, because whenever I burn sage, what actually happens energetically is the whole shift takes place where suddenly I'm actually inviting energy in. Sage doesn't clear energy out, sage invites energy in. So if you want to program your crystal, for example, if you have a piece of quartz, if you want to program this crystal to help you to expand your intention for manifestation, for example, you can burn sage and hold your crystal over the smoke and simply focus your intention on this crystal. Shift into a version of reality where this crystal literally is amplifying your intention. That's how you program it. You just simply know that that's what the crystal's doing. Don't believe in the crystal. Don't have faith in the crystal. It's not gonna work. It's actually not about beliefs when it comes to crystals. It's about knowing. It's about knowing that it works. For those of us who know that the power of crystals is real, we're experiencing magic left and forth. We're experiencing literal superpowers being activated just from wearing a crystal on you. People who are believing in them, they're constantly dabbling and jumping back and forth into whether this is really working or not. Is it just placebo? Is it this? You have to know that it's real. That's how you shift into new versions of reality. Aside from even crystals, just anything, you have to know. It's not even about confidence, it's about knowing. So burn the sage and know that that's the new energy that's been invited in. But what do you guys think about this? Because I have seen so many videos and blog posts that people say to clear your crystal, sage it. And I completely disagree, just for fun, you know? I honestly do disagree, but I'm adding it for fun, not to start a battle. Burning sage does not clear energy. It invites new energy in. If you want to be burning sage in your room and stuff, this is actually going to be inviting all kinds of energetic spirits and entities and different vortex things into your space. It doesn't clear stuff out, it literally creates room for more things to come in. Could I be wrong about this? Sure. Is there even a right or wrong, or are we all just identifying with our own personal stories? This is a really good question. But at the end of the day, crystals are amazing tools that can literally help to open energetic doors that you can change your life with. That's why I've said it so many times. But if the energy starts stagnating, if it starts feeling heavier, if it starts feeling like it's not as charged as it was before, simply look to the principles I shared in this video and try them. Don't believe me. Believing me isn't going to make it work for you. The only thing that will make it work for you is trying it, seeing that it works, and then you will know that it does. And that's why it will. So thanks a lot for watching. Once again, my name's Nathan. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for dropping a like below and letting me know what you thought about this video. Really appreciate you guys. Lots of crystal videos coming out right now. If you have any suggestions for crystals or topics that you want to see, let me know. I look to those a lot. So everybody, thank you, Chad, for recommending this video. And I'll see you guys for the next one. Much love.